Welcome to T1 Academy. In our last video, we discussed about simple interest and some of the important concepts from the simple interest. So today in this video, we are going to discuss one more important concept from the same interest, that is compound interest. Compound interest. Sir, so before we are going to learn about this compound interest, let us have a look on what is the difference between the simple interest and compound interest. Now, for example, if I take some 1000 rupees as my principal, and time period is for some 3 years and rate of interest is some 10%. What will happen in simple interest and what will happen in compound interest? We will try to observe both of these things, students. Now, in case of simple interest, what we do? We pay interest on the principal. Okay. So, what is the interest for the first year? For the first year, the interest will be, please observe here, students. What is 10% of 1000? 100 rupees. Okay. For first year, the interest which I will fetch here is 100 rupees. Now, when it comes to the second year, what is the interest we will get here? Here we will get the same 100 rupees. Why? Because our simple interest will be constant throughout the given time period. Already we have learned in our simple interest concept. Now, when it comes to the third year, the interest and will be what? The same 100 rupees. Same 100 rupees. So, by the end of 3 years, I will pay how much? 1300 rupees as an amount. 1300 rupees as an amount. We know amount means what? Principal plus interest. Now, what will happen in case of compound interest? If I give the same amount for a duration of 3 years at 10% rate of interest, what will happen? The same thing in the case of compound interest. For the first year, both simple interest and compound interest will be same. For the first year, both simple interest and compound interest will be same. There will be no difference between simple interest and compound interest. Now, when it comes to the second year, okay, in compound interest, usually we will collect interest on interest. That is how we will learn for time being. But later we will change the terminology little bit. Okay, for time being, we will learn that in compound interest, we not only collect interest on principal, but also interest on and on the previous years. Now, what is the interest I will get on principal? As usual, 100 rupees plus what is the interest earned in the previous years? How much interest was earned here? 100 rupees. What is 10% of 100 rupees? 10 rupees. That means in the second year, how much interest I will get here? 110 rupees. 110 rupees. Now, when it comes to the third year, as usual, interest on my principal, what it is? 100 rupees plus what is interest on this 100 rupees? 10 rupees. Plus what is interest on this 110 rupees? 11 rupees. 11 rupees. So, overall by the end of in the third year, how much interest I will get here? 121 rupees. 121 rupees. That means by the end of 3 years, how much amount I will repay? How much amount I will repay? 100, 110, 210 and 341 rupees. Sorry, 1341 rupees. Amount here is 1341 rupees. Now, please observe here, students. For your better understanding, for time being, in case of simple interest, we only collect interest on principal. Okay, we only collect interest on principal. That's it. Okay, but in case of compound interest, for time being, take it as we collect interest on principal and the interest earned on previous years. Okay, and the interest earned in the previous years. For time being, we will, for understanding the concept, we will take that compound interest means we will collect interest on principal and the interest earned on the previous years. Okay. Now, see here, students, little bit differently, we will try to observe the things now. Let us change the definition of this one with an understanding. Now, what we have written, we collect interest on principal and the interest on earned on the previous years. Now, please observe here, students, if it is the compound interest case, for the first year, tell me what is the amount after first year? What is the amount after first year? 1000 rupees is my principal here. And what is the interest I earned here? 100 rupees. That means how much I will get in return? 1100 rupees. This is the amount after first year. Amount after first year. Now, what will be the amount after second year? Tell me. This is amount after first year and amount after second year. Now, please observe here, students. Amount means what? Principal plus interest. Now, my previous one is how much? 1100. On this, I will pay how much? Now, okay, anyway, we have written this one, right? Okay, we will take this one. 110 plus this 1000, what it becomes? 110, and previous interest is 100 and the actual one is 1000. So, 1210, right? Okay, we will put that aside. Okay, now tell me what is the amount after third year? We already calculated, that is the reason. What it is? 1341. 1341. Now, please observe here, students. Please observe here. Very simple concept, but you should understand here. What is 10% of 1100? What is 10% of 1100? Please observe. What is 10% of 1100? 110. 110. Please observe this thing. 1100 plus 110. 1100 plus 110 is equal to what? 1210. Is equal to what? 1200. What is 10% of 1210? What is 10% of 1210? Sorry, here this is 31 only. What is 12% of 110? What is 10% of 1210? It will become how much? 121. It will become how much? 121. So 121 plus 1210, what it becomes? 1331. 1331. This is the value. This is the value which we will get. Now that means, now slightly we will change that. Our compound interest means compound. In case of simple interest, we collect interest on the principal for all the years. We collect interest on the principal for all the years. But in case of compound interest, we collect interest on the previous year's amount. We collect interest on the previous year's amount. See here, after 1 year, what is the amount it is becoming? 1000. Okay, on this 10% is 110. So it becomes how much? 1210. So what is this 1100 here, students? This is amount. This is amount. Now, next, when it comes to second year, my amount became what? 1210. Now, this is a new amount. What is 10% of this amount? What is 10% of this amount? 121. 121. That means now we will change our definition little bit. What we can write here is compound interest means, okay, compound interest means the interest. In case of compound interest, we collect interest on the previous year's amount. In case of compound interest, we collect interest on the previous year's amount. Previous year's amount. Okay, understood? Now, please see here, 1000 after 1 year. What is 10% of it? What is 10% of it? 1100. Next, once again, 10% is incremented. So, what is 10% means? Now, what it becomes, students? What it becomes? This is amount after 1 year. What it becomes? 1210. This is amount after 2 years. Next, what is the 10% of 1210? 121. So, it becomes what? 1331. It becomes what? 1331. Please observe this one. Where did we observe this method, students? Please have a look into this. Already we have solved a similar type of model. What it is? If a value is incremented by 10%, 10% and 10% successively, actually the value is how much? 1000. It was first incremented by 10%, next incremented by 10%, next incremented by 10%. That means what is here? We are using indirectly the successive method. Okay. What it is? Successive percentage. Successive incremental of the value. In percentage concept, we have learned this one, students. While discussing the percentages, we have done the same thing. Please do watch that one. If a value changes by 10%, 10%, 10%, 10% and so on successively, then what will be its final value? Like that. Okay, understood. So now what we can do is, actually speaking, first we will observe the formulas of this compound interest. In this compound interest, students, Okay, we will have the formula for amount. We will have the formula for amount. In case of simple interest, we will have a formula for simple interest. But for in case of compound interest, we will have the formula for amount. What it is? P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of T. 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of T. What is P in this case? We already know. Principal. What is R? Rate of interest. Rate of interest. And what is T? Time period. Time period. We all know. Now, sir, how this formula was derived? See students, actually this formula was derived from the successive concept only. Please observe carefully. If a value increases by 10% every time. For example, if the value increases by 10% every time, usually how you will write? How you will write students? P plus 10% of P, right? First, in the first increment, what it becomes? P plus 10% of P. So, what you can write? P into 1 plus 10%, right? After first increment, it will become this much. Now, this value is once again increased by 10%. Then what you will do? P into 1 plus 10% plus we will write, right? Next, what you will do? 10% of P into 1 plus 10%. P into 1 plus 10%. Now, what happens to this one? We all know. It will become what? P into, if I take P common and everything, 1 plus 10% whole square. 1 plus 10% whole square. This one, what I can write? P into 1 plus 10% means 10 by 100 whole square. The same thing see here. P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of T. For 2 times incremented, it became 2. So, that means from this successive percentage increment only, the formula for the amount was derived. Okay, students, understood? The value is increased successively by 10%, 10%, 10%. That is the reason the formula was written as A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of T. Okay, this is the formula for amount. Now, how you can find the compound interest? Tell me, students. If you have the formula like this, then how you will find the compound interest? Then compound interest will become what here? Amount contains what? Principal as well as interest. So, compound interest is equal to amount minus principal. Amount minus principal. Now, see here students, that is the reason. If you subtract amount from principal from the amount, what it becomes? P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of T minus P. Now, when I take P common, what it becomes? 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of T minus 1 whole to the power of T minus 1. The same thing. Okay, the compound interest formula. But we never use the compound interest formula, students. Generally, we only use the formula of amount here. N or T both are same. N or T both are same. Don't worry. I will tell you why I have written N later. But please take it as a T only. Now, for example, if the interest differs from year to year, that means for the first year, if we give it for 5%, next year if he gives it for 8%, next year 10%, means how we will write? 1 plus incremental. If a value is increased by 10%, 20% and 30%, means what you will write? P into 1 plus 10 by 100, 1 plus 20 by 100. Like this we will do, right? The same logic here also. The same logic applies here also. So, if the rate of interest differs from year to year, we will go in this method. We will go in this method. Okay, sir, good. But nowhere, in very few cases, we are going to use this formula for us, students. See, actually we can solve it in multiple ways. We have 3 best methods to find the compound interest. I will tell you all the 3. Okay, with an example, we will try to learn it. For example, a person have taken some 20,000 as a loan. Okay, at let us assume some 25% per annum rate of interest for 3 years. What is the compound interest? What is the compound interest? Now, students, please observe carefully. This is very important. Why? Because now we are going to find this answer in 3 different ways. 3 different ways. Okay, so we will try to find it. First one, using the formula. That is the basic and the standard method. What it is? 20,000. So, they are asking us to find the compound interest, right? Okay. So first we will find the amount. Anyway, we can easily subtract principal from this amount. So amount formula is what, students? P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of T. So what is P here for me? 20,000. 1 plus what is rate of interest here for me? 25%. 1 plus 25 by 100. And how many years? 3 years. And how many years? 3 years. So now what happens to this? 20,000 into 1 times 4 times, it will become what? 5 by 4. 5 by 4 means what I can write here, students, directly? I will write directly this as 125 by 64. 125 by 64. 125 by 64. Please try to solve this one. 4 16s are 4 5,000s are. Okay. Next 4 4s are. What happens to this one? 1 2 5 0. 1 2 5 0. Right? That's it. 1 2 5 0. Okay. 1 2 5 0. Now 125 into 125, what you will get? 125 into 125 and divide it with 4. Okay. So 125, this is the problem with this type of calculation, students. It will take a lot of time. 5s or else, okay, 2, what it becomes? 2, 1 will go 625. Next 250. Next 125. At last this will become 5 7 1 1 5 1575. 1575 75 11 15175 into 2.5. Why I have written 2.5, students, here? Directly I can take by 4 is there for me here. Okay. So this 10 and this 4, 2.5 directly I have written. So what happens to this 15175 into 2.5, and once again I need to multiply it with 25. Okay, this is a huge task. Okay, we will see it, students, don't worry. 5 7s are 35 plus 2, what it becomes? 37. And next 8. Next it will become for us 75. Okay. Next, so 75875. Okay. Next, what it becomes? 2 table means 0 1 5 3 0 3 5 7 3 9 7. Okay. This will become how much, students, here? 37937.5. 37937.5. So that means what is the interest earned here? Tell me. What is the interest earned here? Interest earned minus 17,937.5 is the interest earned here. Is the interest earned here. This is with the help of formula. This is with the help of formula. Okay, good, superb. Now, next one. The value is incremented by 20%, 20%, 20%, right? So, is it possible for me to go with the successive percentage? That means first 20,000. Okay, 20,000. It was first increased by 25% and next increased by 25% and finally increased by 25%. Okay, now when it is 25% and 25%, 25% and 25%, what it becomes, students? What it becomes? Effective increase. Effective increase is how much? What you can write? 50 plus, it will become 25 into 25 by 100. 25 into 25 by 100. So 4. It will become 56.25 plus 25%. 56.25% plus 25%. So once again, this will become what? 56 plus 25, 81.25 plus 56.25 by 4. 56.25 by 4. 4 19s is 56. Point, already point is there. So what it becomes? 6 and next 25. So 81.25 plus 19.625. not 19, this is 14. 14.625. Okay, overall it becomes how much, students? Overall it will become 85 point some 875, 85.875. Now please observe here, that means the value is increased by how much? 85.875. If 20,000 is 100%, if 20,000 is 100%, what is this 85.875? What is this 85.875? That means what you have done here, into 200, right? Into 200. Similarly, here also multiply it with 200. Multiply it with 200. So 85875 into 2. 85875 into 2. What you will get here? 0. Right? Next 4, 0, 4. Next 6, 1, 1, 1, 1, 7, 1, 6, 4, 0. Okay. And anyway, I have 3 zeros, so I can put 1 0 here. 17,164. Somewhere we have done a small mistake here, students. Don't worry. But the concept is same. Okay, it is incremented by this manner. Okay. This is how it will happen. Now, this is very, very important, students. This is compound interest case, and this is the general one with the formula. This is with the effective percentage, and the last one and the important one, we know how to solve this one with the help of ratios and percentages. We have solved this we have used this technique while solving the questions in percentages concept, students. Percentage concept. If a value is increased by 25%, first it is increased by 25%. So initial and final. 25% means what? 1 by 4. 25% means what? 1 by 4. So what it is initially? 4 parts. Finally it becomes what? 5 parts. Why? Because it was increased by 5 parts. Now next, once again it is increased by 25%. So 1 by 4, as usual 4 and 5. Next, once again it was increased by 25%. Why I am taking it for 3 times? Why? Because here my duration is 3 years. 3 years. So this will become what? 4 and 5. Okay. Now please observe here, 4 4s are 16, 16 4s are 64. 5 5s are 25, 25 5s are 125, 125. Okay. 25 5s are 125. Now that means this is initial and this is the final. This is initial and this is final for me here. This is initial and this is final for me. Now tell me, this final means what? Amount. Initial means what? Principal. And what they are asking us to find here? What they are asking us to find here? Interest. Interest. They are asking us to find here interest. How you will get the interest? Amount minus principal. How much? What is the difference between these two parts, students, here? 61 parts. The difference between this is 61 parts. And if initial value, that is 64 parts, is equal to 20,000, 64 parts is equal to 20,000. What about 61 parts? That is the question. What is about 61 parts? 61 parts. Please find it, students, what you will get here. Here this is the mistake we have done. Again and again we are doing the same mistake. This is 90, 95 point something. Okay. You will get 19. Here also please calculate it carefully, you will get the another answer. Okay. So now what will happen to these, students? Please observe carefully. 61 parts is how much? Cross multiply this. 61 into 20,000 is equal to 64 into x. 64 into x. 64 into x. So now what happens to this one? Cancel it. In 16 table you can cancel, or in 8 table you can cancel. 8 8s are 8. What you will get? 8 2s are 16. Next I will be having 4 0. That means 5 and 00. Next in 8 table it will not be cancelled. So in 4 table, 4 2s are 4, 1, 6, 2, 5, 625. So 625 into 61 by 2. That will be our final answer here. Okay. Yes. So what will be our answer here? 625 into 61 by 2. Please find that one, and that will be the final answer. Now that means, see here students, what we should understand here is, here we have three different methods. So always we will choose this method. That is the ratio method. Now we will go with an example so that it will be more easy instead of that. Now please see here, 20,000 is invested at 10% per annum for 3 years. Solve this one. Just now we solved. With 25% we solved, but here it is just 10%. We will go with the formula and the ratio method, students. That will be easy. First, if I take the ratio, every year it is incremented by what percentage? 10%, right? 10% means what? 1 by 10. So initial and final. Initial it is how much? 10. Final it will become how much? 11. See, if it is increased, we will add it. If it is decreased, we will subtract it. While discussing percentage, we have used this method. Percentage and ratios. Please go and check that one once. Next, once again, it was increased by how much percentage? 10%. That is 1 by 10. So 10 and 11. Next, it is increased by once again by 10%. So 10 and 11. So when you multiply this, what it becomes? 1000. When you multiply this, what it becomes? 1331. It becomes how much? 1331. Given that, find the amount if rupees 2000 is invested. They are asking us amount only, right? In this case directly. If 1000 parts is equal to 20,000, what about 1331 parts? 1000 parts is equal to what? 20,000, which was given in the question. That means with what we multiplied here? With 20, right? 1000 into 20 is 20,000. Now similarly, what is 1331? Similarly, multiply it with 20, what you will get? When you multiply it with 20, 26620. That means it will become how much? 26,620. It becomes how much? 26,620. Anyway, they are asking us the amount, so directly we are writing the amount here. Now, if I go with the formula, what is the formula for amount? I have P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of 50. What is principal here for me? 20,000. And 1 plus R by 100 means it will become what? 11 by 10 whole cube. Directly I have substituted 10 and I have cancelled it, and it becomes how much? 11 by 10. So now what happens to this one? 20,000 into 11 cube is what? 1331. And 10 cube is what? 1000. 3 zeros and 1331 into 2, it will become what? 2662 and that 0. So like this also you can find, and like this also you can find. But based on the question, students, based on the question, we will follow sometimes this method, sometimes this method. Okay, but mostly we will follow this method to get the answer. I hope you understood why I am writing in this manner. Why? Because in case of compound interest, what it is actually happening means successive increase. Here there is no chance of decrease. Why? Because we are paying interest, right? So in case of compound interest, we will always have a successive increase with the same percentage. Okay. So we are going to use this method mostly. But in some special cases, to understand the concept, here and now we are going to use the formula method. Okay. We will have success. See, if the time period is only 2 years, you can use that successive method increase also. What it is? X plus y plus xy by 100%, increment also we can use it based on the question. And remember, whether they ask you amount or interest, that is also. See here, 1000 is principal, 1331 is amount. If they ask interest in this question, what I would have done? What is the difference between these two? 331. I would have simply found what is 331 parts. Understood? Right. Next, we will see the next one. If 6,000 amounts to rupees 68,694 in 2 years, then find the rate of compound interest. For time being, we will put this aside. Later, we will come to this one, students. Once again, we will come back to this one and then we will discuss that one. Now, see here. Find the compound interest on 15360 invested at 37.5% per annum for 3 years. Now, please see here, students. 37.5%. While discussing the percentages, we discussed this one. 37.5% means what it is? 3 by 3 by 8. What it is, students? 3 by 8. 3 by 8. Okay, so what happens to my initial and final values? Initial will become 8, final will become what? 11. Am I correct? Next, once again 37.5. So 3 by 8. Next 8, 11. Next, once again 37.5. 3 by 8, 8, 11. Why I am writing only for 3 times? Why? Because here the duration is 3 years. Here the duration is 3 years. That is the reason I am once again writing it as, I am writing this for 3 times. I am writing this for 3 times. Okay, now multiply this one. 8 8s are 64. 64 8s are 512. 8 cube. Here what it is? 1331. What it is? 1331. So that means this is a principal and this is amount. So what they are asking us? Compound interest. They are asking us compound interest. What is the difference between these two, students? 1300 minus 500, what it is? 800. 31 minus 12, what it is? 19. That means how much parts I need to find here? 819 parts is my interest. 819 parts is here interest earned. Given that what it is? 512 parts. 512 parts is equal to what? 15, 36 and 0. 512 parts is equal to this one. Then what will be? 819 parts. If you observe carefully, into 30, right? 512 3s are 1536. Similarly, 819 into 30. 819 3s are what it becomes? 7, 2, 5, 2, 4. So our answer will become 24570 will be the interest earned here. 24570 will be the interest earned here. Understood, students? And one more doubt you may have, sir, why you are multiplying here? Why we are multiplying means, if a value is successively increased, if a same value is increased successively, then what we have seen the formula, students? 1 plus r by 100 into 1 plus r by 100 into 1 plus r by 100 and so on, right? What we are doing there? We are multiplying. That is the reason we are multiplying here also. Okay, if a same value changes for some multiple times, we will write the change in this manner, and we will multiply it. For example, if the two values, if you are writing relation between two values means you will not do this one. But the same value was changed for multiple times. That is the reason we are writing in this manner. Okay, this is how we will try to solve the problems from now onwards. See the next one. The compound interest on certain sum when invested at 16.66% for 3 years is 3810. 3810. See here, what is the interest, rate of interest they given for us? 16.66%. Already we discussed 16.66% means what we can write it as? 1 by 6. 1 by 6. 16.66% for how many years? 3 years. So that means first year, initial and final. First, if it is 6, it becomes how much? 7. Next, once again 16.66%. That means 1 by 6. Once again 6 and 7. Next, once again 16.66%. It will become what? 1 by 6. So this will become what? 6 and 7. 6 and 7. Now multiply these, students. 6 6 are 36. 36 6 are 216. 7 7s are 49. 49 7s are 343. Actually, this is 6 cube and 7 cube. You should know those two values by default. Now, what they are telling, the compound interest is how much here? 3810. Compound interest is 38. See, initial means what? What it is? Principal. Final means what? What it is? Amount. Am I correct? What is the difference between these two here, students? 300 minus 200, it is 100. 43 minus 16, what it is? 27. 27. So that means 127 parts. 127 parts is our interest in this case. So what they are asking us to find the sum. That means principal. If 127 parts is how much they are given? 3810. If 121 parts is 3810, then what it is? 216 parts. Why? Because this is the principal. Okay, what is happening here? Into 3, 0. Similarly here also into 3 and 0. That means 30. 216 3s are, it will become what? 648. And this 0. So that means 6480 will be the principal in this case. 6480 will be the principle in this case. See here students, if we go with our traditional formula, definitely it will take some time. But if you understand the concept, we will get the answers very quickly. Okay, we will get the answers very quickly. See here students, very easily we got the answer, right? So please try to follow this method to get the answers for compound interest. See, only two things you should keep in your mind. One is, see, definitely you should not forget the basic formula. That is very, very important. Where we will use that basic formula and how we will use that one later. But definitely you should know this method also. Basic and this method. Based on the requirement, for some questions we will use the basic method. For some questions we are going to use this method. Okay, right? Next one. Now, see here. If 20,000 was borrowed for 2 years, what will be the compound interest if the interest for the first year is 15% and the next year is 20%? See here students, it is different, right? If it is same for both the years, we will directly substitute. If it is different, we have another formula. So, but if it is in our case, if we solve it, in the first year, first it was incremented by how much? 15%. 15% means what students? 15 by 100. 15 by 100. See students, till now 10% is 1 by 10 I have written. How did I write that one? 10 by 100. Okay, and then next later I have written 16.66% as 1 by 6. How I have written that one? 16.66 by 100. So that one I have written it as 1 by 6 like this. If you please do watch our percentage video so that you will have a clarity. Now 15% means what it becomes? 3 by 20. It becomes what? So initial and final. Initially it becomes how much? 20 parts and finally it becomes how much? 23 parts. Okay, initially it becomes 20 parts and finally it becomes 23 parts. Now when it comes to the second one, it was incremented by how much? 20%. 20%. So that is 20 by 100. Okay, what it becomes? 1 by 5. 1 by 5. 1 by 5. That means initial is 5, final it will become how much? 6. Now, multiply them. 25s are 100. 23 6s are 120 plus 18. It becomes 138. That means this is 100 parts and that is 138 parts. What is the principal they given for us? 20,000. That means 100 is equal to 20,000. And what they are asking us? What will be the compound interest? Not the amount. They are asking us the compound interest. What is the interest earned here? 38 parts. Why? Because this is amount students. This is principal. Initial value is principal here. Final value is amount. So the difference between amount and principal is interest for us. So 38 parts. So if 100 parts is 20,000, what about 38 parts? What about 38 parts? Into 200. So similarly here also into 200. 38 twos are, it becomes what? 76 and 2 zeros. 76 and 2 zeros. So our answer will be 7600. Okay. See the next one. The compound interest on rupees 24,000 at 15% per annum for 2 years, 4 months compounded annually is. Right. Now see here students, for the first time we are seeing duration in 2 years, 4 months. Till now all the years are completed years. But we are seeing here 4 months. 4 months. Okay. For timing, we will start solving it. For the first year, what it is? 15%. Okay. First year it is 15%. 15% means just now we have seen it is equal to 3 by 20. So that means initial and final what it becomes? Initial is 20, final will become what? 23. Okay, that is fine. Next, when it comes to second year, once again it is increased by 15%. So this will become 3 by 20. So 20 and 23. Okay. Now when it comes to third year, is my third year completely finished? No. Just how much? 4 months. 4 months. 4 months. Now see here what will happen to my rate of interest. If rate of interest is for some 24% per annum, tell me what will be the rate of interest per month? What will be the rate of interest per month here? Tell me students. 24 by 12. That is 2% per month. How did you tell that one? Why? Because a year contains 12 months. So that is the reason. Okay. Now I have 4 months. I have 4 months. I don't have a complete year. Now tell me, for year, for 12 months, if the rate of interest is 15%, for 4 months, what will be the rate of interest, students? For 4 months, what will be the rate of interest? What is the relation between these two? What is the relation between these two? Divided by 3, right? Divided by 3. Similarly, divided by 3. Similarly, here also divide it with 3. 15 divided by 3, what it is? 5. That means for 4 months, what will be my rate of interest? 5%. For 4 months, what will be my rate of interest? 5%. So that is the reason for this 4 months, what will be my rate of interest here? 5%. Instead of 15, I will take it as 5. Understood, students? Split that one. Split the rate of interest. If time period decreases, obviously the rate of increment also decreases. So from 15 it came down to 5%. 5% means what, students? 1 by 20. So it becomes what? 20 and 21. Okay, good. So this product will become what for me here? 8,000. Why? Because 2 cube into that one. So 23 are what it becomes? 529. 23 square is 529. Next 21. I should multiply it with 29. So 529. Okay. Next 8, 5, 1, 0. So this will become what? 9, 0, 1, 1 and 1. So this will become what? 11109. This becomes what? 11109. Now they are asking us compound interest. What is the difference between these two, students? 3,109. 3,109. This is 11,109 and this is 8,000. 11,000 minus 8,000, what it becomes? 3,109. 3,109 parts is the interest here. And given that 80,000, that means 8,000 is equal to how much? 8,000 parts is equal to 24,000. 8,000 parts is equal to 24,000. That means what it is? Into 3. Now similarly, 3109 is equal to what? Into 3. You can take 3,000 into 3, 9,000. 109 into 3, it becomes 327. So what it is? 9,327 rupees. 9,327 rupees is the interest earned for us here. 9,327 rupees is the interest earned for us here. If you go with the formula, definitely it will confuse us a lot, students. The only thing here you need to observe is, these are 2 complete years. So directly I have taken the full percentage. But when it comes to the third one, this is just 4 months. 4 months. That is 1/3 of a year. 1/3 of a year. That is the reason I decremented the rate of interest also by 1/3. Rate of interest also by 1/3. Understood? Understood? This is how we are going to solve the problems, even though the years are not given in perfect multiples. That means sometimes years and months. This is how we solve. Next one. A sum of rupees 40,000 is invested for 2 years at 20% per annum compound interest, compounded half yearly. Okay. See here, students, till now in all the problems which we have solved, how did the interest was calculated? The interest was calculated half year, yearly. At the end of year, that will be calculated and finally. So please observe here. First of all, we will try to understand what is this half yearly. For example, there is a amount, some principal amount is some 1,000. If rate of interest is some 10% and time period is some 2 years. Okay. So if it is normal, compounded yearly means what we will do? Amount after first year will become what? 1100. Why? Because it is incremented by 10,000. Amount after second year, what it becomes? It is incremented by, so it will become 1210. This is amount after first year and this is amount after second year, with the logic which we have learned till now. First initially 1,000, 1,000 plus 10, it becomes 1100, 1100 plus, that will become the amount for me at the end. Okay, now come to compounded half yearly. Earlier we calculated it for year, right? Now we should calculate it for half year. If rate of interest is 10% per year, what happens to it for half year? R by 2. That means my rate of interest should be reduced by half. When it comes to time duration, if I compound it yearly, how many amounts I will get? 2 amounts. But if I calculate it for half yearly, a year contains how many half years? 2 half years. So for 2 years, how many half years I will have? 4 half years. So that means my rate of interest will be reduced by half. My time durations or time slots will be increased by double. Okay, rate of interest will be reduced to half. When it comes to time slots, it will be doubled. Okay, so now what happens in this case? Students, please see here. For the first half, what is 5% of 1000? Why I am taking 5%? Rate of interest should be divided into half. What is 5% of 1000? 50 rupees. This becomes 1050. Okay, next when it comes to the second half year. Okay, what is once again 5% of 1050 plus 52.5. So this will become 1102.5 after the second half year. Okay, now when it comes to the third half year, once again the same thing, 5% and so on. In this manner, it will keep on increasing. This is how we will find the compound interest if it is calculated for half year. And this is how it will progress. Okay, now come to our given question. Same, we will apply the same logic, but what we will do here? Here the rate of interest will be reduced to half, but the time slots will be doubled. Now see here. Is for 2 years at 20% compounded half yearly. 20%. Now my rate of interest will become what, students? 20 by 2. It will become 10. And when it comes to time slots, it will become what? 2 into 2. 4 time slots. Okay, understood? So now what I will write this one as? Write it is see here. 10% increment. So initial and final, what it becomes? 1 by 10. So 10 and 11. Am I correct? Next 10%, 1 by 10, 10 and 11. Next 10%, 1 by 10, 10 and 11. Next 10%, 1 by 10, 10 and 11. Am I correct? Why? See, actually the duration is 2 years. But how many slots I have written? 4. The reason is time becomes double. Every year contains 2 half years. That is the reason 4 it became. Next, rate of interest, actually it is 20, but I have written it as 10. Why? Because per annum it is 20%. For half year it will become how much? 10%. Okay. So multiply it, what it becomes? 10,000. So 11 cube is 1331. And into 11 means what it becomes? 1331 and 1331. 14641. So it will become what? 14641. 14,641. And they are asking us the compound interest. So what is the difference between these two? 4,641 parts is the interest earned here. And given that 10,000 parts is equal to what? 40,000. 10,000 parts is equal to what? 40,000. That means into 4. And we need to find 4641 parts. That means what you will do here also, you will multiply it with 4. 4 1s are 4, 4 4s are 16, you will be left with 1, 5 and 18564. 18564 is the interest earned in 2 years compounded half yearly. See students, the major portion remains the same. The only thing changes here is time slots increases, rate of interest becomes half. That's it. Okay. This is how we are going to calculate for compounded half yearly. Okay. Next one. A certain sum invested at 33 1/3% per annum compound interest compounded half yearly amounts to something at the end of 1 year 6 months. 1 year 6 months means how many time slots, students? 1 year 6 months means how many half? Why? Because it is compounded half yearly. 3 time slots. Okay, time slots, it is very clear. Now when it comes to rate of interest, what it is actually? 33 1/3 by 2. What it becomes? 16 2/3. 16 2/3 means what, students? 1/6. 16 2/3% means what? 1/6. We know already while discussing our percentage, we have learned this one. So now what happens to these students? Initial, final. So what you will write directly? 6 7. Why? Because 1/6, right? Next 1/6 and next 1/6. So 6 7, 6 7. Finally, it will become how much? 216, and this becomes how much? 343. Why? Because we will multiply them. And they are asking us, they given us the amount and they are asking us the principal. Amount means what here, students? 343. That means they given that 343 parts is equal to 20580. 343 parts is equal to 20580. Then they are asking us what is this? 216 parts. What is this? 216 parts. If you were able to identify it, good. If not, cross multiply it. Okay. Let us cross multiply it. What we will get? 7 table. We will check. 7 table. Okay. We will solve it. Don't worry. Into some x is equal to 216 into 20580. 20580 in 7 table. 7 49s. Okay. Next 7 2s are 14. I will have 65. Okay, in 7 table it is not getting cancelled, it seems. I will get 65, 9 times, okay, I will get 240, okay, right. Next 49, yes, 49 once, 49, 6 are 294 and 0. So 216 into 6, what it is? 216 into 6, 6 6 are 36, 6, 9, 12 and 0. So what is the sum which was invested here? 12,960 rupees. 12,960 rupees. Very simple, students. You should understand this concept. That's it. We can solve all the problems using this method very quickly and effectively. With that formula, definitely it will take some time, students. If you know the percentages, you can apply that one here and you will get the answers very, very quickly. Okay. Next one. Right. That's it. This we have just solved one and we skipped one problem. Don't worry, we will solve that one in our next class. Okay, the similar one we will solve it and we will try to get the answer for that one. Okay, thank you very much. We will see in our next session. Thank you.